Hello, Mustang families. As we continue to work through this pandemic together, one of the questions that we get is in reference to how come if we continue to send home letters about positive cases, we can still say that there's been no virus transmission within our school buildings. How can both of these items be true? So I want to talk through a couple of examples today with you to illustrate how that can happen. In the first example, let's say the parent of a student tests positive for COVID-19. The student then would stay home in quarantine to quarantine with that parent. During the time that they're quarantining, the student also tests positive. This means that the student hasn't been at school during their infectious period because they've been at home in quarantine. It also means that they most likely have acquired the virus from the parent who has previously tested positive. In this case, we would still send a letter home to our school community saying that there's been a positive case and account for that case on our dashboard, even though there's been virtually no impact to our students and staff members' on-site learning. In a second example, let's say the spouse of a staff member tests positive for COVID-19, so the staff member stays home to quarantine. Just like in the first example, the staff member tests positive for COVID-19 while they're quarantining, which means that they haven't been on the school site during their infectious period and most likely have acquired the virus from their family member who has already tested positive. In this case, just like in the first one, we send out a letter to our families letting them know that there's been a positive case, and we account for that positive case on our dashboard, even though there's been virtually no impact to our on-site students or staff members. I should also let you know that if we have a staff member that teaches in both buildings, if they test positive for the virus, we send out an individual letter for both buildings. So it looks like we have 2 positive cases when there's really only 1. We do that to protect the privacy of our staff member as well as to be accurate in our reporting to our families. I also want to let you know that there have been some cases this year where we've had to contact trace for students that have tested positive. In these instances, we've identified the close contacts and had those students or staff members quarantining. In all of those cases, none of the close contacts have tested positive for COVID-19, which means that we were able to stop the spread of the virus through quarantining. While this information certainly doesn't negate the fact that COVID-19 is spreading through our county and through our state, I hope that it helps to clarify some of the communication that you're receiving from our district in regards to the virus. We encourage you to continue to keep your children home if they're not feeling well, and to reach out to school nurse Heather Hirth to help you work through any COVID-related situations. Stay healthy, Mustangs.